You've never heard of the Millennium Falcon?
Should I have?
It's a ship that made the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs.
Most illogical.
You're listening to Spock and Solo, a podcast concerning things nerdy and not so nerdy, with two wayward personalities from across the galaxy speaking on things that are cool, not so cool, and becoming the norm. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Spock and Solo podcast. I am Han. He is the weird Vulcan standing with the symbol and the thing over there and the thing. I'm Alex. He is Chris. Welcome back to another episode of Spock and Solo. Last, we joined our faithful heroes and scruffy nerf herders. We were discussing Moms and Mother's Day. Well, it's been a month, and we've been sitting here in the cosmos doing what we do best, and we thought about, well, it's about to be Father's Day. Let's start talking about dads. So we've come up with our top 3 dads and honorable mentions to boot.
Top 3 fictional dads,
yes,
right?
Fictional dads, because our dads are number 1. Even though we don't know who Han's dad is in real life, and we know who Spock's dad is because he's Vulcan and he's awesome. So that's another unanswered
Hey, you know
question.
what? We might find out who Han's dad is in the new Han Solo Star Wars story movie.
Ooh, that's so far away. That's teasing, man. Don't do that. But I digress. So today we will discuss our 3 favorite fictional fathers. That's a nice alliteration, right?
Mm-hmm. Love it.
Fictional fathers. What were you looking for when you were looking for your 3 favorite fictional fathers? I did it again! More alliteration.
Very good. You trying to suck up to the English teacher?
No, I don't know.
You get an A, sir. You get an A.
Oh.
Stop trying hard. What was I thinking of? Well, for mom, I was thinking of who invests to make their child better, and for dad, I think it's who sets a role model as what it means to be a good man or a good person, right?
I agree.
I don't know. Live up to the responsibilities. I don't know. With fathers, I think a lot about responsibility and strength. Although mothers can have strength too, but I think fathers' responsibility, and leading. I think leadership. Perhaps that's it.
Yeah.
Man, I haven't thought through the father thing, I guess, enough as much as the mother thing.
You're the one at least with immediate first-hand experience of being a father, albeit for the last 6 months. What have you learned about yourself being a father in this limited time span of fatherdom?
Oh, you don't sleep.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
Well, then in that case, we have a very lengthy list to go through of men who lost sleep and how they were able to aid their family in their lack of sleep. Chris, if you don't mind, let's go ahead and hear maybe your honorable mentions first.
Okay, well, I have 5.
Okay, that means you had a cat.
Maybe 6. Maybe
you had
6.
8 to 9 possible candidates, and you've narrowed it down to a top 3 with 5 to 6 alternates.
Yeah, so I'll go quickly through the 6.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Bennett from Pride and Prejudice. Have to read that for my IB classes.
Okay.
It's a pretty good book. Mr. Bennett's the best part, though,
Right.
because he's snarky and he goes against the Victorian attitudes of his wife, and he just says screw you to everyone.
Got
and
it.
He's awesome. And Anakin Skywalker.
Uh-huh.
Not Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker. He sacrifices himself for his son. Shows that anyone can be redeemed, no matter how far you've fallen. And I think that's a really good message that goes along with our Western society and culture. King Triton from Little Mermaid.
Okay.
Sacrifices himself too.
Yeah, more sacrificial lambs, if you will.
Yeah, and there you go. And then a man with a particular set of skills.
Oh.
Named Brian Mills from
I
Taken.
gotcha. Okay, I see what you're doing.
I haven't seen 2 or 3. I'm sure they're good action. But the first one, great dad, because he's willing to go to all lengths to retrieve his daughter.
Gotcha.
And then Daniel Hillard from Mrs. Doubtfire.
Aha.
he's willing to go to all extremes too to win back his family and be with them, even humiliating himself. Also, just a scene where he's talking to, I think, the judge, and he's just like, but they're my kids. I can't be without my kids. And that always like got me when I was a little kid, and now even more. I haven't seen it since I've become a dad, but I don't think I need to see it because it might get me unmanly tears.
No, boy.
And then the last one, Sarek of Vulcan, Spock's dad, and gotta include
There you
him.
go.
They fight a lot. They bicker, but they push each other to become better and stronger through those arguments. And in the end, Sarek can express his love for Spock through Picard. It's a weird sci-fi thing. Blah blah blah.
Okay.
Cool dad.
There you go.
And he will be in the newest Star Trek series, Star Trek Discovery, coming out this fall on CBS All Access.
Yeah, that was a shameless plug that we didn't get paid for, but that's okay. Fandom.
$5.99 per month.
Yeah. Wait, what? $5.99? What? Why am I paying that much for CBS?
Yeah, they're trying to make a Netflix type thing, and Star Trek as being their flagship show.
That's a whole nother thing. We could discuss
Blech.
the whole monetization of on-demand television on our smart devices.
In every other country, it's on Netflix. But our country, it's on CBS All Access. Anyway, I digress. Can you give us some of your honorable mentions?
I'm gonna give you one off the bat.
The Honorable Fathers.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you. I have 4 that I ended up with mine, so I don't know why I was giving you so much flack for having so many. We share Anakin Skywalker. I agree with you there. Sacrificing himself for his son, and in some weird way, he tries to get his son's love back by saying, "Please join me, be partners with me, and be my friend again, or let me be the dad I never was." And it doesn't, of course, fall on good ears because, well,
I believe he says, we can rule the galaxy.
yeah, that's not exactly.
Or we can be friends.
Either way, I think that's. It was. At the time, it was an unreceptive Luke that sort of hurt it, so that didn't help him all that much. So that's kind of why I'm kind of leaning Anakin as one of my 4 alternates, if you will. Next is another James Earl Jones voiced person, or this time not even a person, a lion in Mufasa. Mufasa.
Oh, remember who you are.
I think it's that, and then it's also the whole line of everything the sun touches is our land, Simba. But that over there, don't ever go into that land. That is Reno, and you should never go there. I'm sorry, that's not right. That's not Reno. You're right. I'm sorry. That's just how I remember it from the meme. That's not correct. But no, in honesty, it's the voice of James Earl Jones, the soothing, solid rock that is James Earl Jones's voice as Mufasa.
And like any good parent, he sets limits.
Yes.
Don't go there. You can go here.
Yes.
It's kind of like God in the Garden of Eden, the Great Father.
If you will, yeah.
Anyway.
In a way. Next, I look to who wasn't really a dad, but ended up becoming, in the long run, a fatherly figure to someone, and that was Carl Fredricksen from the movie Up, the Disney Pixar film from 8 some odd years ago. Now, again, he never had a son of his own, but eventually he has to take care of Russell over time, and he eventually learns to love Russell and to protect him and realize that Russell can gain a lot of knowledge and learn and go on great adventures with Carl. That's something that he's always wanted for such a long time for him and Ellie, but now he can finally be good on that and have Ellie sort of smile on him from above while he is a great figure for Russell to live up to and be like in the future. So that's why I kind of lend towards Carl Fredricksen. And then the last one for me, and this was tough to leave him out of my top 3 because growing up and having my own father be a lot like him, it is Ward Cleaver from the television series Leave It to Beaver. He was the quintessential 1950s suburban white collar dad. And one of the most memorable things he would always tell either Beaver or Wally is and you're going to do this, and you're going to have a wonderful time doing it. And that's the sort of lasting impression, is that he's like, he told his sons, you're going to have to put on your pants, you're going to have to do the horrible thing, but you're going to have a good time. And it's just, you stuck with that, and you're like, wow, okay, Dad, I can do that. We can live by that idealist standard of the 1950s. And he was a sharp-dressed man for the time, too, so that's always never a bad thing.
Wonderful.
Shall I go with my number 3, or do you want to go for your number 3 first? I don't care. We flip a coin.
Well, Han always shoots first, so you can go first.
Fine. Number 3 on my list comes from the world of film, or at least he was seen in the world of film, portrayed in the world of film by an actor known as Christopher Walken, remembered from the movie Catch Me If You Can, and that is Frank Abagnale Sr. And the reason I chose Frank Abagnale Sr. is because no matter what his con man son continues to get into time after time, he stands by his son and is loyal to his son and just wants the best for Frank Jr., no matter what. He may not have done right in his own life. He may not have been the best dad by staying with Frank's mother. But in the same time, he wanted his son to always be happy and succeed, and he just wanted to make sure that his son was, again, protected and loved in his eyes. So that, to me, it kind of sticks out in my mind, first and foremost, because it's Christopher Walken. Yeah.
Awesome.
But moreover, there's a speech that he gives in the movie when he receives this grand award when Frank is a kid. And it kind of sticks out to me. And I'm trying to... It's the speech he gives, and he goes like this: 2 little mice fell in a bucket of cream. The first mouse, he quickly gave up and drowned. The second mouse wouldn't quit. He struggled so hard that eventually he churned that cream into butter and crawled out. Gentlemen, as of this moment, I am that second mouse. And that's just like, what kind of story is that you tell anyone?
You know, as you were talking, leading up to that, I'm like, oh, I'll find a clip of this and put it in. I don't think so. I think that's it. I'm gonna leave. You did it.
You could just have.
I might have you voice over the image.
Please don't do that. I don't want Walken coming after me. He's a legend, man.
So, Alex, when you become a dad,
yeah,
I cannot wait for your story times. I think your
I'm
kids
gonna tell him
be
that
super
story.
lucky.
Absolutely, of 2 little mice churning in a bucket of cream. Absolutely. I think the other quote that kind of sticks out to me, and this is someone who grew up as a fan of it, is he asked, "Why do the Yankees always win?" The other team can't stop looking at the pinstripes. Hey, 27-time world sports ball champions. Hey. It's actually just baseball, whatever. But yeah, again, it was just kind of one of those quick one-liners. Always the guy in the room that you always wanted to be around also was Frank Sr. So that's what I took away, and that's kind of hopefully the dad I would hope to maybe be one day. Again, I don't want the con man's son, but again, hopefully one day I could be.
Yeah, but be fitted with the ability to have unconditional love no matter what your kid has done.
Yep.
That's a pretty cool trait to be a dad, and not everyone has that ability. So, cool.
Your number 3.
This is the character named Dad from About Time. He doesn't have a name. His name is Dad. About Time. About Time is starring Domhnall Gleeson and Bill Nighy. Bill Nighy plays his father, and the men in this family can travel through time.
What?
Just by going into a dark closet and thinking about where they want to go, and then go there. But now they can only go in their life.
Oh.
Basically, the dad calls the son in and say, "Hey, son, you want to hear something cool? We have this ability." And the son's like, "Wait a minute, what?" He's like, "Yeah." And so he tries it, and the whole movie. I won't spoil it. It's great, but the dad basically is teaching the kid about though you can travel through time, don't let you miss the present and what's happening. And eventually, at the end of the movie, the son, played by Domhnall Gleeson, doesn't travel through time anymore because he's like, oh, right now is the best time. So I like a dad that is bestowing wisdom, right? He's teaching a child to become an adult, a thinker, and use their skills to the best of their ability. Cool dad, and he's funny too.
Right.
I like a dad with good humor. One line that really
Wait, he has ice cream?
gets me. What now?
He said he's got good humor, so he has ice cream.
Is ice cream called good humor?
I'm going to have to explain that to you later, son. Just keep going.
All right, Daddy.
Continue, please.
He says at the son's wedding, I'm not particularly proud of many things in my life, but I am very proud to be the father of my son.
I remember that. That was a beautiful line.
Yeah, it is. And, showing that emotion out in public, that's a pretty brave thing to do for a guy. So I hope I can be that kind of dad for Caitlin. Number 2 for Mr. Solo.
Number 2 for me, and up until this point and really beyond that, it's sort of from what everyone was used to and what some may not know, was that Bob Saget is a filthy, absolutely dirty comedian. Like, if you hear his stand-up and don't know anything else about Bob Saget, you're like, oh my gosh, I would never want this person to be my father. Oh, you are wrong.
Irony.
He plays the one and only Danny Tanner from Full House and now Fuller House, available exclusively on Netflix. Shameless plug there, I'm sorry.
$9.99 per month.
Yes. Or if you want the 4K, it's like $11.99, but I'm not counting my maths. But yeah, Bob Saget plays Danny Tanner, the Rock of the Tanner family.
He's a very clean rock.
Yeah. Oh, dude. It's just like one of those things that stands out as you when you grow up watching Full House. It's like, oh, man, Danny Tanner. Cool dad, funny dad, but also like the dad. You know what I mean? It was just like there was a lot of really good TV dads in the 90s, but I don't think I would be able to really replace any of them without having Danny Tanner at the top of the heap for me.
Man, you're giving me flashbacks to TGIF.
Corey
Matthews' dad.
He was good.
Family Matters.
I know. And Carl. Anyway.
Step by Step.
The list goes on. We know, but again,
it does. But continue.
Danny Tanner for me was the Rock of the family. He literally nothing could unshake him.
I just got a picture of Danny Tanner doing the Rock eyebrow raise.
I think Bob Saget could do it, but he'd get the people's elbow for trying. Anyway, going back to one of the very first episodes. I think it was, if it wasn't the pilot, it was like episode 1 of season 1. And it was called Full House. Our very first show is the name of the official episode. He's going back and forth with DJ about how she wants to, how she would have handled something differently, and about what would mom do, and all this sort of stuff. And I think DJ's trying to move into the garage. He pretty much just lays this on her and it's like, game over, you lose, the end, mic drop. And it goes something like this. You've got Michelle, and you have your Uncle Jesse and Joey. DJ, we're still a family, and right now is when we really need to stick together. So it's up to you. Either you move back into the house, or all 5 of us are moving into the garage, but nothing is going to break up this team. And that's just like, again, mic drop, game over, good night, GG, no re, nothing. You cannot, that's just like, you got me, and you have to deal with me. I am your dad. It is my house, and we are going to do this all together. We're going to go all down together in a fiery heap if we have to, but we will do this all together. And that's the thing I loved about Danny Tanner, no matter what. He was like, I will fall for this family no matter what. We will all be in this together because this is what we've got.
You know, I have to say, Danny Tanner, as a dad, has two superpowers. One, cleanliness.
Yes.
Two, he can summon synthesized 90s music to backstage all of his lectures.
Very, very powerful.
As you were reading that, I could hear that music swelling in the background, that corny 90s, synthetic music. I think they're essentially tied together, Danny Tanner and that music. So it's I guess I need to get some before Caitlin gets older.
Maybe. Keyboards.
Just have it on my
synths,
phone,
yeah.
just ready to play.
Those are key and essential things needed in any form of your lifespan is great synthesizers and cheesy 90s guitars in the background. That always makes things better. Danny Tanner coming in at number 2. Chris,
All right.
who is your numero 2?
My number 2. We're starting the first of 2 Bens. This number 2 is Ben, no last name, from Captain Fantastic. Movie came out in 2016, played by Viggo Mortensen. He was up for an Emmy.
Oscar?
Or was it an Oscar? Oscar for this role, and man, he was great. In this film, it is about a father who raises his children out in the wild and basically trying to create philosopher kings. These kids are brilliant physically and mentally. They're climbing cliffs.
Super kids.
They range from 18 to like 4, and he's just committed to making them the best that he can be. And but eventually, this kind of lifestyle leads to one girl almost dying, one daughter almost dying. So he gives them up and says, you know what, you should live with your grandparents because I almost killed you. And so he sacrifices his desires to be with his kids for their betterment. And eventually they all get back together and they change their life. But great father because of his method of like really engaging the kids to learn and become better and challenge them to ask questions about society and why things are the way they are. So good dad, great performance, great movie.
He still plays Amin Aragorn for me, so I won't be able to unshake.
He's a great Aragorn.
I can't unshake. See, that's one of those characters actors in Viggo Mortensen that unfortunately now all I know him is Aragorn, son of Arathorn, the eventual rightful king of Gondor. I will need to see this in order to shake whatever hopeful image I have of Viggo Mortensen. And I feel like himself, Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, and even to some degree now, you look at a character or an actor like Elijah Wood or, oh gosh, now I can't remember who played Samwise Gamgee. Holy mackerel. He was in Rudy too.
Sean Astin.
Yes, Sean Astin. And he played Rudy.
Astin, that's right.
Yeah, Sean Astin played Rudy and
also,
he played Samwise, but I think Sean Astin...
Robert Downey Jr. too.
Yeah, but RDJ had roles before this. And I don't remember Viggo Mortensen's roles before this.
When he dies, he'll be
Iron Man.
Tony Stark.
He'll be Iron Man. He'll be Tony Stark. But again, I look at actors who come from this amazingly powerful role and series of movies, and I cannot remove that actor from that major project that made them so relevant. And it's unfortunate because he is a tremendously great actor and tremendously great sort of artist, if you will. But it's sad that I fall into that same trap of not being able to appreciate the other forms of art and the other performances he has done post Lord of the Rings.
Well,
and I feel like this is like...
Have you seen him in a lot of things?
No, because I go into it, I'm like, it's not... He's Aragorn. He can't do anything else. He's Aragorn. I can't unthink of it. Like, if I had to look at something else, I would try to go into, like, Appaloosa, A Dangerous Method, History of Violence, something like that that is, like, near opposite or, like, not in the same sort of acting oeuvre that was the epic of Lord of the Rings. So that way I can maybe judge it off of just that. That's my problem. I don't have enough to go off where I can do that. Where with Robert Downey Jr., I could look at other roles that Robert Downey Jr. has done prior to being Iron Man or prior to being Tony Stark and be like, oh, okay, that's RDJ pre-addiction. Okay, this is RDJ post-addiction as Tony Stark and Iron Man. And I could also look at the not-so-funniness of him acting with Zach Galifianakis in I can see it because my wife loves the movie.
Tropic Thunder?
No, that was good. He was good in Tropic Thunder. I like that one. Due Date. Due Date was the one where he had to go across country with Zach Galifianakis.
Due Date.
And then he plays Sherlock Holmes in the
I
middle
didn't see that.
of being all that awesome. And then in '06 he does Scanner Darkly, which I loved. So I don't think RDJ falls into that trap as much as Viggo Mortensen does, despite being such an iconic, great action character. Aragorn in this case versus Iron Man. I just feel like Viggo, in my book, as much as I would like to go ahead and shake that he is not Aragorn plight in my head, I think it's going to be stuck with me, unfortunately.
Well, get Captain Fantastic on your shelf.
Okay.
Haha, completing the
Working
shelf.
on it.
And it's on Amazon Prime. I know that's going up for you soon, so check it out before it goes.
It's really, really, really a rough day in life when you know that from one point on, you won't be a Prime member again, and you have opted out of signing up for Prime. I know.
Hey man, I've given up my annual pass at Disney.
You make sacrifices.
We're still hurting.
I mean, it makes sense for you to have Prime because you can get like 2-day delivery on diapers. I mean, that's like the biggest win in the history of Amazon in my book.
Seriously, Amazon Prime Pantry. As the father, this is something you get excited about. But we don't have to go get diapers. It just comes to us. But anyway, we are way off track.
Oh, yeah, we've gone off the rails. I'm okay with that. But
are you done?
I think it was helpful to make that point in my mind of, again, Viggo Mortensen, I'm glad that he's up on this number 2 spot for you for being the awesome dad of Ben. I will have to take my time to go through that, fully immerse myself in the movie, and distraction-free look through that and hopefully shake that hole.
I have one more thing to say about that character,
Sure.
Ben. Something else I like about him, and my parents did this for me. He never talked down to his kids, even the youngest ones.
Oh, I
He
thought
just
you were
tells
going
them
to say
how
that
it
your parents
is.
just abandoned you and told you to figure it out. That would have been weird.
No. Like he sees his sister's, his wife's sister and their kids, and like, he says a line like, I don't choose to lie to my kids about things.
Oof.
You know how sometimes parents sugarcoat things. He just tells the truth how it is, and I think that makes the kids better people.
I agree.
Better ready for society, and I appreciated it too. Okay, so you have a number
1.
2? No,
I
You're
gave
number
my
one.
number 2. Did you miss
Number
me
one.
not talking about Danny Tanner for the last 30 hours about how I'm in love with Bob Saget?
I got lost in their tangent,
You're right.
and then I can't count because
You're
I'm an
right.
English teacher.
You're right.
So you know.
Number 1 is from a current television drama that is on TV as we speak. Well, it's more dramedy than drama. I will take that back. Season 1, episode 23, and I'm just going to simply read the line. In nature, fathers are known to eat their young. Is it because they're delicious? No. It's because they want to give to their female. Bear, giraffe, what have you, the honeymoon they never had. Just to be clear, I don't condone eating your kids, although I sure as heck know why giraffes do it. That is the wise and sage-like advice of one Phil Dunphy. Modern Family Zone, Phil Dunphy. I think it's because I got stuck in the word family. My brain hurts. Phil Dunphy is the reason why I choose that dad to be my number 1 favorite dad from all things fiction. Now, again, I'm not condoning the eating of your young, but I want to be like that dad of Phil Dunphy trying to make a point, going horribly, horribly wrong with what he's trying to say, but it means so well, and he's trying so hard to sound so smart that he's just like, I'm just trying to be cool and trying to be a dad and just trying to make it work. When he's doing just a great job, but sometimes it doesn't end up perfect. But that's just kind of the modern dad he is. He's just so fearless and so like gung-ho about wanting to get in there and do something for the family, for his wife, for his daughters, for his brother-in-law, for his father-in-law, that he just goes and does it. And he's just like, afterwards, he's like, please forgive me. That's the dad I want to be. Is like, I want to go in there and want to ask for forgiveness second instead of permission first.
All right.
That's really how I think of it.
I haven't really watched a lot of Modern Family.
Boo that man! Boo! And now you have a
Yeah,
baby,
it's
so you have
just-
no time whatsoever.
No. I have my own modern family.
Yeah,
now.
this is true, but I don't know if you've got.
Not in the same way. No.
No,
Not the same
no,
makeup.
no. You don't have the Jay Pritchett Modern Family going on, so that's okay. But we're okay with
No.
that. I'll explain what that means later. You've got the traditional family aesthetic at the moment, and that's what Phil Dunphy has, so it's good.
We just need a house and a picket fence.
Mostly. I don't think they allow picket fences in his HOA though, but that's not here nor there.
Yes.
So that's about it. Again, that's my number one. Phil Dunphy, played by Ty Burrell, plays the dad, affable, lovable, not always 100% right dad, very, very well, but he loves his family nonetheless. He doesn't always expect the love from his family, but he appreciates it and embraces it when he gets it. So
Awesome.
Well,
and no dad can be perfect. Except,
I mean,
not on this earth.
yeah, no dad. I mean, he can try.
This is true, and I will try. My number one fictional dad, is Benjamin Sisko from Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who?
This is the stepchild, the middle child of the Star Trek franchise. It came out.
The redheaded stepchild.
Yeah, but this guy's black. Ben Sisko.
No, I'm saying the series as a whole.
Yes,
not the black
yes,
bald
yes.
man.
Yes. It's kind of the dark, gritty Star Trek, and it's really kind of like pre-Netflix because it has.
Okay. Can I stop you for
Yeah,
1
yeah.
second? Dark and gritty Star Trek, and you have the Ferengi involved. There's no such thing as dark and gritty Ferengi. They're the most hideous alien race I have ever seen. I'm sorry. How can you even think that dark and gritty and Ferengi could be in the same sentence? I need you to just display as many evidences of visual Ferengi shots and clips as you can. Let's start with the fact that they have 4 sets of ear cavities for one ear. Their noses are just obscene and pointed, and they've got sharp, pointed teeth that'll chop your head off. And then on the top of their head, it looks like the tiniest baby's butt makes up their forehead. What in God's green earth is going on? I'm sorry. Vent and rage quit over Ferengis. Please continue about Benjamin
and
Sisko.
There are probably a dozen episodes just on Ferengis in that series, and you either, as a fan, love them or hate them.
Can you make sure that you include the picture of President Trump on top of a Ferengi head? I think that's out there roaming around the internet, and that's just a beautiful picture.
It is, because they're the ultimate capitalists. Okay.
It's so wrong.
Well, that Ferengi tangent was really unexpected, but here we go.
Rant over.
Benjamin Sisko, in the beginning of this series, his wife is killed. And so he's a single father, right? And he's working for Starfleet, but he's like, I'm going to quit. But he's posted on this station out in the frontier. He doesn't want to be there. It's aliens everywhere. He hates it, but he's like, I'm going to do the best job I can.
Ferengi.
Yes, exactly.
Sorry, continue.
He's basically got to raise this kid, and it's kind of cool. We see this kid grow into a man through 7 seasons on the show, and lots of wisdom. But the kid eventually wants to become a writer, and he's always got his head in his notebook writing. One quote that I like from Ben, he says, you got to take your head out of the book sometimes and look around, because it's life, Jake. It's life, and you don't want to miss it. And I think after he kind of gets over the death of his wife, he finds new purpose on Deep Space Nine, and really kind of imparts that sense of purpose to his son. And his son is like kind of the surrogate for part of the audience, a kid, and everyone wants to be in Starfleet. That's cool. But he doesn't. He wants to be a writer. He doesn't want to follow his father's footstep. And the dad, in a split second, went from, to, that's awesome. Go do that. Be the best writer you can be. I want to read them.
That's something you want from your dad. Yeah, that's something you would want your father to push you towards. That's something that you want, no doubt.
Yeah, he encourages and pushes him to make the right decision, but he, allows Jake to kind of set his own course.
Wow.
So, Ben Sisko, awesome dad. Great actor, Avery Brooks. And Avery Brooks is also my mechanic at Firestone down the street. Same name. Random.
I don't think it's the same guy. Please don't let it be that. That's weird.
No.
'Cause Avery Brooks now would be something like, what, almost 70 years old?
Probably. He is a
Good
professor
grief.
of acting in New York somewhere, I think. And
Well, at least he's making
he
decent
is
money, I hope.
insane. He was in this documentary that William Shatner did about the captains, and William Shatner would ask him a question, and then Avery would just get on his keyboard and play music and say, "Yeah, you feel the vibe, yeah," like things like that. It's like, I think he did too much drugs.
Oh, God. Oh,
Anyway.
Lord.
But the
Oh,
character is awesome. Is an awesome man. So,
Okay. I'll take your word for it. But again, as soon as I see a Ferengi, I just like, nope, change. There's no reason that it should exist in any universe whatsoever.
Yeah, you.
I would rather have Jar Jar Binks on Deep Space Nine than a Ferengi. There, I said it.
Ooh, them fighting words, sir.
That is
At least they're not
fighting
terrible
words. They are
CGI.
peaceful. Howl.
They are quite ugly. But what Star Trek teaches you is to look beyond aesthetics and judge people by the content of their character. Blah 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 blah.
Like Data.
yeah,
What about Geordi LaForge? You can't really see anything. How is he supposed to do that?
he's blind, and he
Hey,
sees the electromagnetic spectrum. But before I get even more nerdy, perhaps we should tell people how they can tell us about their favorite fathers.
Please let us know about your favorite fathers by sending in a self-addressed stamped envelope to. I'm just kidding. No, please don't do that. Tweet us at Shelf Nerds at Alex_Salvo on our Facebook page. Completing the Shelf is all you have to search on Facebook, or Spock and Solo. You can find us in either one of those locales. On Twitter, we are Spock and Solo, all one happy little handle. And of course, here on YouTube, the Completing the Shelf Chanel.
If you can comment below this video, give us your list, please. And
Top 3 dads of fiction, not real life. You can include your dad if you want.
I mean, if you have 3
unless he's a
dads,
made-up
I
fictional
don't.
character.
Cool. You get an award,
Yeah,
I guess.
I mean, that's bonus dads. Yeah.
I have a student with 2 dads. It happens. But recap your top 3 real quick.
Number 3 was Frank Abagnale Sr. from the movie Catch Me If You Can, who actually existed in real life, but for the sake of this list, he was fictionalized by Christopher Walken.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 was Danny Tanner from Full House, played by the one and only Bob Saget. And number 1 is Phil Dunphy from Modern Family, played by Ty Burrell.
Very good. My number 3 was the character Dad, played by Bill Nighy on About Time. Number 2 was Ben, played by Viggo Mortensen from Captain Fantastic. Go watch that movie. It's awesome. And then Ben Sisko, played by Avery Brooks on Star Trek Deep Space Nine, a.k.a. the one with the alien butt head, Ferengi.
I'm over it now. I'm good. I've made amends. I'm good. I'm moved on from the Ferengi.
Do you know what an umag is?
If it's any distant cousin to the Ferengi, I don't want to know.
It's the
They're ugly, and they probably were hired by Jabba to come find me to pay him for the things I owe him.
Yeah, I won't explain what an umag is, but if you can Google umag out there and get some interesting clips.
Fine.
But I think that does it for this Father's Day edition. I have to say, I am just.
We're running out of things to talk about for top 3s and family members. I don't know when National Sibling Day is, but I don't think I'm going to do well on that one either.
I'm sure there's a Grandparents' Day.
Yeah.
You know, when it's Teacher Appreciation Week, we can do top fictional teachers. There's plenty of those, I'm sure.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, I'm sure, is going to be Luke's choice.
Yeah, there we go.
But
But
yeah.
you know, we owe ourselves and our listeners an episode on Han Solo and an episode on Spock, or together, because I think I have a theory developing on how they are very much alike.
Oh, no. We are not alike. See, I'm a bad man. I bounty hunt. I trade and I cheat and I steal and I shoot first, like you said. So I can't be that dad.
He wasn't a good dad, was he?
I mean,
until the end.
He could have been worse.
He allowed his son to get the completion that he needed by allowing him to kill him. He needed to be released from him.
I don't know that that happens to me yet. Now you're spoiling an entire film for our listeners who may not have seen.
If they're
episode
listening
7.
to Spock and Solo, I think they've seen The Force Awakens.
You don't.
And if they haven't, they're terrible.
That they just are really nice people who like us, and I don't know why they would, because they're just. Well, they could like us and never have seen it. I don't know.
That's true. Okay.
For Spock, a.k.a. Chris, I am Han, a.k.a. Alex. Please tweet at us, comment us. We will listen and talk to you all next time here on Spock and Solo. Shoot first.
Pew pew. Live long and prosper.
And, you're supposed to say live. You're supposed to say live long and prosper, because that's what we do. I shoot first. You live long and prosper. That's how we make this work.
I will.